I received an answer to my FedEx issue where I was overpriced for all those labels, 30 or 40 FedEx labels at a clip of about 15 to 20 bucks on average. And I'm not happy. So let's get to it. Without any further ado, let's go. Really, guys? Really? I saw the poll results. Now, I only put this poll out an hour ago, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit, but I'm somewhat surprised. So we'll talk about that here a little later in the video. Go and check out my channel if you have the mobile phone or your tablet or whatever, or if you're on PC, you can go and check out the poll. And I won't really go into what the poll is, but we'll talk about it here in a minute. For those of you who are tuning in, thank you for tuning into my channel. My name is John from Flippin, Ain't Easy, and I'm a full-time reseller. I make these videos to help others. I spend the time that I spend to research and to contact the powers that be at eBay. Sometimes, you know, it's the price I pay. It's what I've chosen to do, and it's not only for myself, my own benefit, but for yours as well. And I share these things with you so that you don't have to deal with a lot of this stuff. And I also share it with you so that you can be aware when stuff just happens that shouldn't be happening. So with that said, I'm going to talk about my FedEx issue. And if you don't know about this issue, please click the video. I'll put it right up there if you're on PC or your tablet or cell phone. Watch that video and come on back and hear what I have to say about the situation, or just keep watching and then go back and get the scoop. Nonetheless, long story short, from October to January, eBay has been quoting a price on many FedEx labels, usually the larger packages, and that price had been changed by FedEx. FedEx would utilize their dim weight system on the package and report to eBay once the package was delivered a much higher price, and sometimes 2 to 3 times the price that you were originally quoted. So, knowing this was wrong in my opinion, I went back and I complained back in November about 21 different labels where I was overcharged, 291 bucks. Supervisor in that case actually had common sense and processed a credit to my account in that amount and said, you know what, it's going to continue. You want to call us back in December and we'll look at November at that time. And I did that. Got a different supervisor. That supervisor decided they were going to put in a request or a dispute with FedEx for another 15 labels for the month of November. And they handled it differently. I wasn't quite happy, but then that's what it is. Fast forward to the 28th of February, I get an email from eBay saying I have credits coming. Since that time, I've been calling, chasing this money. We're talking like $300 or $400 because this went on from October till January, and I should have had something for November, December, and part of January. So here I am expecting to receive a credit. I got an email from them saying I was going to receive a credit, and nothing. So I called today on a totally different issue, and I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video. But it evolved because I ended up getting someone in managed payments. I've been waiting for a call back from a supervisor in that department about this FedEx issue. And of course, they tell me they're going to give me a call back, and it just doesn't happen. So I said, while I have you on the phone, here's the situation. And of course, they tried to play ping pong between managed payments and the shipping department. And I told them, look, neither wants to work with this. Every time I get managed payments, they want to put it over to shipping department, and then shipping department gets it and says it's not our problem, it's managed payments. And I'm just kind of tired of it. So after about the 4th or 5th rep, and I was watching my Angels game while it was happening, so I wasn't really losing any time. I just wanted to get to the bottom of this. We're talking like $300 or $400, and what I want to know from you guys is how far do you guys, or how much time do you spend dealing with an issue where you have a credit of potentially $300 or $400? How much time? Put it in the comments down below. Do you waste any time? I mean, is it worth your time? But either way, whether it's worth my time or not, and if I'm wasting my time or not, I'd like to say that whether I get anything out of this or not, it's worth the time spent for the content that I'm getting in this channel and to share my experiences with you. So, hey, I don't mind doing it. So if it's something, though, personally you wouldn't do, please let me know. If you'd still be on the phone with eBay until they give it to you, please comment down below as well. So eventually I get kind of passed off to this person, that person. Would you believe that when I first called tonight, the rep put me on hold when I was in mid-sentence? Of course, that's a no-no in the call center industry. She didn't like my reaction to that, and so she pretended to hang up on me by hitting the mute button. And that's a tactic that reps do to get you to hang up, so that when the report is run, they can say they hung up on me, I didn't hang up on them. So what I did was I instructed her, because I knew she was still listening on mute, that I was going to keep the call going, and I was just going to call back on my wife's phone. So that's exactly what I did. Called back, got a US rep who was like, wow, I can see that she's still on the phone with you. So that's not good. And I said, no, it's not. He ends up sending me to the shipping department. This guy gets on the phone. He has two first names. First of all, I kind of have a thing where I don't trust anyone who has two first names. Your first name and your last name happen to be two first names. Just something, I don't know. I just don't trust it. But nonetheless, this guy had two first names and claimed he was in the call center in California, in San Jose. This is 5:30 p.m. Pacific time on a Friday night. That's tonight. And I said, okay, first of all, that's the corporate office. And they ain't taking phone calls past 5 p.m. anyway. And you're not at the call center there because there is no call center in San Jose. And I don't know why you're lying to me. And I told him, I said, look, I don't care if you're on the moon. I just want my money. So find out how to get me in touch with the right person so I can get my credit that you guys have told me that I have coming. Passes me right back what is called a cold transfer, where they send you right over, just put you on hold. They send you right over without telling you're going to be transferred, without telling the person answering the phone what's going on. So they get the call, and they're all surprised they're getting the call. And, she sends me back over to the shipping department, managed payments, saying, look, I can't help you, but I'll get someone on the phone that's actually going to, have a comprehension. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. They got me on the phone with someone who didn't quite understand. And I asked for a supervisor, and they put me over with a supervisor in the United States. So inside, I'm like, yes, I finally have someone that's going to listen to me. And she was very empathetic, and she's like, wow, this shouldn't have happened. I said, just go back when you have a chance for coaching purposes or whatever, and listen to the time that I was on this call and what happened through every step. And you'll be appalled by it. And so we went through it, and she's like, wow, I can't believe this has happened. I'm sorry it's happened to you. But at some point in the conversation, her demeanor changed. It went 180 from super empathetic and helpful to playing devil's advocate. And this is kind of where the poll comes in. Let me stop here, and I'm going to just go over to my computer, and I'm going to kind of explain where I'm coming from, and hopefully you can see, maybe understand why I'm kind of confused about the results on the poll, and maybe we can kind of discuss this together and get an idea exactly how these things work so that we're not confused. So hopefully this is a learning experience for everyone. So I wanted to show you this screen. It's the label that I'm going to run on a package that sold this evening. It's just a shade under 3 pounds, as you can see here. And the dimensions are 7 by 11 by 15, okay? Or 15 by 11 by 7, or 15 by 7 by 11, or 11 by 7 by 15, however you want to put it, okay? It shows right now based on this, and they're about a state away, so it's not bad. $8.46 is what we're seeing here. If I go in here and change this 15 by 7 by 11, it's the same package, right? And I hit enter, same price, $8.46. If I go here and put 7 by 11 by 15, hit enter, same price, $8.46. The reason is that these numbers are calculated together. It doesn't matter what order you enter them in. I got to tell you, if this was an issue where if you put in the big number first, followed by the second largest number, and then the smallest number, or if it didn't matter, there would be a video. Someone would have made a video on this already, and nobody's made a video on this because it doesn't matter. Now, I know that as of this video, we have 38 votes, 39 votes now, and 31% say that the difference between 11 by 10 by 4, or there is a difference between a package that is 11 by 10 by 4 versus 10 by 4 by 11 inches. Okay, I just showed you here that it's no different. In fact, I don't know if you knew this or not, but you can go in and put that in here, 10 by 11 by 4, okay, and it'll calculate, okay, it just happens to be $8.46, and if I go 11 by 4 by 10, it's still going to give me $8.46. Let's go down, and let me even increase the size. Let me make it a 5 pound item, okay. Now, of course, that's going to increase this, but it doesn't matter what order I put it in. Let me go down to a FedEx offering. Let's see here. Don't want to go too expensive, but FedEx Home. Here we go. Okay, $11.26 if I select that option. Okay, that's with the current 11 by 4 by 10. Let me put 11 by 10 by 4 and hit enter on that. It's the same price. $11.26. I'll go down to that option that I selected. Still $11.26. It doesn't matter because the DIM formula, I'll go to that screen here. This is the DIM calculator that I tell you about. That's the FedEx DIM calculator. So what I do now when I'm creating a FedEx label, I'll go in and put the was it 11 by 10 by 4, and I'll put the 4 pounds that it was. This is the example I'm going to tell you about, and it tells me that the dim weight for this should be 4 pounds. So provided that my measurements are correct, and I go up to the nearest inch when I'm measuring with my tape measure, after it's been packaged, not before. According to FedEx, that their dim weight is 4 pounds. Now, if this item was a 2 pound item, but it happened to be an 11 by 10 by 4 box, or I'll just, 10 by 4 by 11 box, yeah, I calculate it, and they'll say that it should still be, their dimensions are 4 pounds. eBay in the past would bill you for 2, and then FedEx would bill eBay for 4, because they expect this box to be 4 pounds, if that makes sense. But I will go back and put 4 pounds in here like I did in the last example. So if I leave it 11 by 10 by 4, and I hit enter, it's not changing that. If I put 11 by 4 by 10, hit enter, it's not changing it. It's not changing the weight because it's not any different. It's the same box. It's just turned a different way when they're measuring it. So I want you guys to understand, at least 31% of you have answered that it is a different box. And it may seem different when you turn a box, but the height might be different, but your length and width is going to be different because it's taking on the same dimension, just in a different way. You're looking at the box a different way, if that makes sense. So looking at this screen here, this is an example of what I was telling you guys about. This is the last example I can come up with. But if you look, this is the package that I sent a customer. I don't know, it was like a $20 item, okay? And I think it was $20 plus customer paid shipping. So they paid probably like $11, $12 for shipping. And that's based on eBay's calculation right here. As you can see, the weight is 4 pounds. As you can see, it's 10 by 4 by 11, okay, for whatever reason, they weighed it the same, but they put the dimensions in as 10 by 10, 11 by 10 by 4. Now, when I was on the phone this evening with the rep or the supervisor at eBay, she said, well, that's your problem right there. That's a different size. I'm like, no, it's the same. The dimensions are the same. I said, if you understand how this works, these numbers are multiplied together. When you multiply 3 different numbers together, it doesn't matter what order you do it, it comes out with the same answer. And so FedEx charged you, or ended up charging me $31.27, and I didn't even get that much for the whole thing. So I should have just taken the package and set it on fire and not listed it on eBay. But as you can see, they charged me a base rate of $13.48, residential fee $3.26, fuel $1.84. They gave me a miscellaneous charge of $4.90, so they added that to it, right? So that's like $20. It's like a little over $20. Then they gave me a discount of $7.79, right? But how did it come up with $31? All these right here, even if you added all these together and not give me the discount, it's going to be less than $31.27. So she didn't seem to understand, and she wanted to defend the fact that in her mind, because it was showing differently, that's the reason why I was charged more. And I got to say, guys, I don't care how you measure a box, whether you measure the small side first or the longest side first, as long as you measure all the sides and put that into your equation, it doesn't matter. It's going to come up with the same result. So hopefully that gives you a visual on what I'm trying to explain and why I put that post out, because I was really curious on what you guys thought. And honestly, I just don't want you to think otherwise. I don't want you to be tricked by maybe eBay told you that, because I just showed you that you can put it in any order, and this number here is going to stay the same when it comes to your labels. And trust me, if this mattered, or this mattered, what order you put the number in, there would have been YouTube videos about it already before I even started talking about it. So I'm going to cut back over. I'm going to step away from the computer, and I'm going to go back to my garage. So I'm back from my computer. And the label that I was showing you an example of is this ink toner, okay? And it actually, I just took out the tape measure, and to save you some comic relief and watching me try to do this with one hand and show you at the same time, this is actually 14, okay? This is 10, and this is 6. Okay, that's 6, all right, as in inches, all right? I usually give about a 1-inch buffer, because what I do is I put bubble wrap on this. I cover it with 1 layer of the small bubble wrap, and then what I then do is put this into a poly bag, and I have about 10 different size poly bags. I find the one that fits the best, and then I wrap it up, and then I go in and I take the dimensions again. So as you saw in that example, it didn't matter what order I put this box in the computer, it was still giving me the same price. As you see, this is the same box, right? I don't care how you move it around, how you stack it, whether it's like this or like that, you still have the same dimensions. This box is going to take up the same area on the truck, on the plane, wherever, okay? So I don't care how you do it. You can do this all you want. It's not going to change it into a cube. It's not going to change it into a smaller box. Not going to change it into a larger box. It might seem larger right now than right here, but it's not. It's the same box, okay? I am very surprised that 30% of you guys thought that the dimensions of any box, we'll just use this as an example. If I move it here and put that first versus putting that first, it's going to change the size of the box. It's the same box. The box is not changing. Okay, it doesn't matter what order I put that number in on my label. Just want you to know that, and I can't stress that enough. And it's just frustrating because here I am dealing with the supervisor at eBay. Got to know your business. If you're going to be a supervisor, the supervisor's name was Michelle. I'll put her out like that because honestly, I'm very disappointed that Michelle, who seemed to be very empathetic with me, pretty much shot me down and told me, for the most part, that the credit they gave me back in November and told me to call back in December for November, that initial supervisor should have told me it was a one-time deal, but they didn't. They told me that, of course, we won't know these FedEx labels and how much they charge you until they've been delivered. And because of that, for November, you'll have to call in December. And I did that. She's telling me that I'm out of luck, even though eBay sent me an email on the 28th of February telling me that I had a credit due, but no one's willing to tell me how much that credit is. So, you know, here's the deal, guys. I know I asked you guys a question. At what point do you pursue it? Do you mess with it? Do you not? To me, I've done what I've done. I've spent too much time, in my opinion, on this. And for whatever happens, happens. I will not make any more phone calls on this issue. But I'm just flabbergasted that I even had to have a conversation and was told by a supervisor that I'm wrong in the sense, or in any sense, that a 11 by 10 by 4 box is different than a 10 by 4 by 11 box. You can say a 4 by 11 by 10 box. You could do whatever combination of those three numbers. And like I said, you can do all this all you want, flip it around and spin it and all that stuff. It's the same box, okay? So I just wanted to rant and just let that out. I plan on trying to communicate with someone that's higher up. My hope is that someone above and beyond the call center is going to care about sellers and the things that they go through a little bit more, or hope. And all I'm asking is a little bit more. That's a giant step forward from what I've experienced. And I've read your guys' comments as well, what you guys have experienced in your own situation. The only difference is I'm bringing this and I'm putting my life out here for you guys to see and judge and whatever, and so be it. If you think I'm lame for spending the time that I spent on it, then hey, thank you for spending this much time and this far into the video for someone who you think might be kind of lame to watch. I appreciate that, and keep watching the video. But for the rest of you guys, I bring this content, I spend my time doing the research because I want to learn, but if I'm going to learn from it, why not let's all learn from it? So hopefully you guys learned something from this experience. And you know, the only reason why I even called today, and it's funny how things evolve. You find someone on the phone, you're talking about situation A, but you find someone on the phone that might be able to help you out with situation B that really sound like they care and they have some juice. That's a mistake that I made tonight, because guys, the reps now in 2021 post-COVID have less authority and less, they're not as proactive as they were pre-COVID. And I really blame this on management. They took that authority away from these reps. So when you call and you have something other than the basic question, if it's more than a basic question and it's a real serious situation and you're expecting someone to use their common sense and to actually say, you know what, you're right, let me do this. No, they may say you're right, but they will not say, let me do this. Because from my understanding and my discussions, all the way up to supervisor, I have not found anyone who is willing to do anything more than apologize and basically tell you this is the policy. So let that be what it is to you. I want to help you guys. I don't want to mislead anyone, okay? And I'm not always going to be right. There's going to be times that I have it wrong, okay? And I'm learning from you. Many times you guys will correct me in the comments below, and please do. If I'm wrong in any case, please tell me down below. So do me a favor, guys. If you enjoy this kind of content, if you appreciate the time that I put into this video, whether you agree with me or not, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd appreciate you guys doing that if you're already watching the videos. And of course, if you've been along this ride, this journey of mine, the entire way so far, and you've already subscribed, please consider hitting that notification bell so that you can be notified the next time I make a video. So again, comments down below. Tell me what you think. I will be trying to get more videos out to you guys here very soon. Also more on my computer if you guys want to see that kind of content. But do me one favor, guys. I want you to have a great weekend. But when you have a chance, just keep listing, keep making those sales, because they're still happening. And again, another example that I just gave you tonight, how flipping ain't easy. And I will see you here in the next couple days. Again, have a great weekend, everyone.